Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just let me be blunt. My speech in the morning, nothing but grunts. With no coffee, that's as dangerous. On a scale from 1 to 10, I rank it that girl from Stranger Things. And if you get what I'm saying, my attitude be mad flagrant like I'm Draymond. But you ain't get the picture, BFP. So I'm gonna keep pushing on you, GNC. It's like, yeah, the first thing on my mind is when that hot coffee gonna seep into the coffee grind. It's like some magic's floating all in the air. Toss some ice cubes in my cup, it's a good day. All I gotta say is that it's starting in a good way. It's time for work and I don't even care. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. We start fresh, that's how it's gotta be. Everything starts back with your coffee beans. If it's cold brew, then it's gotta be coarse. Don't get the cart ahead of the horse, start learning the course. But of course you can disregard, and don't at me if it gets too hard. When it's my time to drink, man, it's always on hand. Drink from a cup or a bottle, even a can. You never know when you're craving a hit. It could be in the bathroom while you're taking a with flair, I'll say he ain't got nothing on it. When that coffee hits my lips, it's a seance. Feeling real super with the cape on. Anything I'll take on. This cup of coffee, yeah boy, this is the shit. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Verse, so I guess that's where I talk about how we might be addicted in a roundabout kind of way, or how you say a dependency that's in my life, and I'm proud to say it's filling me with way more energy than I'll ever need, keeping me up for things I thought I'd never see. Time's gonna kill us all one day, whether old age, illness, or from listening to Coldplay. F that noise, wubba love love, drink all the coffee, chug a lug lug.
Good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, yes, another DC topic. I can't believe it. You probably can't believe it either. But yes, we're going to be talking about the little story yesterday about the Batman Beyond movie. DC and Warner Brothers have plans to do Batman Beyond, according to a report, and that's why they brought in Michael Keaton. Now, the question is, folks, the obvious question here is, what about The Batman movie? What about poor Robert Pattinson and poor Matt Reeves? Is DC not hurting that highly anticipated The Batman trilogy with their plans in the DCEU with Michael Keaton? Well, I'm bringing resident hater of The Batman, Adam from Fanjecture, onto the show, and we're going to be discussing that, talking about that. I also want to talk about the Avengers game. We did a stream yesterday, talked about the Avengers game. A lot of people were upset at that stream. We're going to get into all of that, but first, let's say what's up and good morning to all of the beautiful people in here. Cade Stevens is here, Mike Porter, Stormbreaker, Captain Pennsylvania, Polyhedral Paradise, Hector, Brian O'Connor, Marvel Maniac, Maverick Pilgrim, Kavid Abdul, Coachella Coastal, Will Morgan, Hector, Danny Orge, Jennifer Cook, Jason Gray, Equals MC Squared Knight, Mr. Deeds, Dakota F's in the building, Ryan's in here, Trev's in here, Trinity from 2nd Street Marvel, Jareth's in the building, Andrew Gate, Adam G, Alexander Carfeld, John Harris, Wayne White, Tara Zahn's in the building, Social Distance Warrior, Joe, Adam, holy crap, so many beautiful people in here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Burton the Nerd, what is up? What's up, everybody? If I missed your name, I apologize, but welcome to the stream. Very happy to be here. Very happy to be streaming. Let me see. I want to show you guys something real quick here. This is, I went to art school. You know what I mean? A little bit of a humble brag coming up here, guys. So I went to art school, okay? And one of the things that we did in art school and in different studio classes is the students would take their art, okay, and they would put the art up at the front of the class, and we would all, as a class, we would look at the art and we would sort of, as much as we could, objectively talk about the good and bad qualities for the art, okay? So, you know, it was very rare that you would find something that was universally accepted as a masterpiece, okay? But we found a piece of art on the internet yesterday that I would consider to be a masterpiece. Chet, pause the music. Are you guys ready? You wanna see it? You wanna check it out? Here we go. Masterpiece coming up. 3, 2, 1. There it is. There it is. A masterpiece. A masterpiece. So, this was done by GA, Darth Daddy Lunga, over at the Grey Council, or the Grey Order YouTube channel. He was watching the stream yesterday, and I had said, you know, somebody could clip this out and put this face in as MODOK. That'd be great. And, wow. Just, I mean, phew. Masterpiece. You know, masterpiece. All the credit in the world to GA. Just amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I mean, God, it's a beautiful, brings a lot of joy, you know, inside, you know. It's been tough year, and you know, you see your whack ass face on a MODOK and a picture, and it's the little things in life, guys, you know. It's I'm really just grateful. Anyway, we gotta talk. Let's talk. You know what? I think it'd be a good place to start, actually. I think it'd be a good place to start is talking about the Avengers game before we bring Adam in here and we discuss the Batman, you know? So, the Avengers game stream yesterday, I thought it was a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions and stuff like that. I'm wondering if just anybody that was there on the stream or whatever, if we have any more heated thoughts about that or anything like that. Now, as you guys are letting me know in chat, if you could let me know, like, where your thoughts are about the video game. I want to say, too, apologies. No Nerd Card Showdown yesterday. Totally my fault. Look, Chet, I mean, really, it's Chet's fault. Like, let's be honest. It's Chet's fault. Totally my fault. We are just pushing back the showdown that was going to happen last night. It'll be happening next Wednesday. And both teams, good to go. We're going to really ramp up promotion for that. It's going to be a very, very big deal. So I apologize if you were looking for that last night. Totally on us, but we'll be back at it next week. Better and stronger than ever, okay? So that's number one. Just wanted to put that out there. Let's see here. Hector says it's like seeing Jesus on Christmas morning. Amen. Amen. Burke the Nerd says graphics looks meh. The game seems fine, but not my cup of tea. Yeah. Grace must have showed up in last night and distracted Josh. It's all her fault that the show didn't happen last night. Hey, maybe, man. Hey, look. Yeah, I don't even know what I should say to that. You got me, Wayne Wade, okay? You got me! You got me!
Bruh.
I didn't know what to say there. You got me. As being a huge fan of Ultimate Alliance, I would gladly accept anything else of the sort that I can get. Shortcomings and all, Stephen J. said. Yeah, so it was funny. Like, here's the thing. Stormbreaker says game looks fine. I'll probably end up getting it. And I'll probably end up having a lot of fun playing it with you guys. But in all seriousness, like, I'm not really sold yet. And, you know, I felt like I was trying to be fair. I was trying to be objective. Look, that presentation, I know this always happens. We always talk about this. The internet gets really amped up for these things. And then the studios and the people that put on these presentations are like, okay, well, fan expectations are too high. I don't know about that. I really think that you should go in knowing that the fan expectations are going to be really high. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. the more I thought about it, the more I was like, look, I can have a lot of fun with this game. The RPG elements for me, I'm there for that. Like, that's super cool. I just need a little bit more information about what is there crossplay, and what does the content look like post-launch? Meaning, are they going to be updating the stories, giving new war zones, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's yet to be determined on that, okay? Now, let's see if we can get Adam in here. That's why we ran a little bit late today. We had another sort of weird issue with bringing Adam on. We're working with some new audio tech in here. But Adam, I think I can hear you fine. You want to give me a little audio here?
Hello.
Yeah, I think we got you. Yeah, let me just adjust so that I can get your video on here.
I hear an echo. How is there an echo? We got rid of the echo.
I don't hear an echo.
Okay, perfect. I'll deal with it then.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see if I can.
I'm with me. You don't hear it, I don't care.
Let's see. So as I'm trying to get your video in here, let me just ask your, I think we got actually like a good bit to talk about today. But I obviously wanted to just say thank you for passing that along to me yesterday, talking about the Sean Chandler scoop and all that.
Yeah, just totally by accident too. Like I was just, I was out back doing yard work, looking for things to listen to, saw Sean's stuff, and I'm a fan of Sean. I like his stuff, and he recently just started doing this podcast, maybe about a month or two ago, maybe 3, I don't know, something short though. And I saw, so he didn't have the word exclusive or anything in the title. I just happened to see the thumbnail that said exclusive Flash stuff, and I was like, all right, well, I'll give it a listen. And then lo and behold.
Yeah, and a lot of people were, yesterday I noticed a lot of people were like, I saw other outlets talking about it. You know what I mean? And I know it's like we got this covered, like kind of covered it or whatever, but I think he's going to end up getting a lot of, it's so weird how it all works.
Are going to see your video and then circle back to his video. That's what I think.
Maybe. I mean,
we're going to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we'll see. The DC videos have been like weird for us, so I don't know. We'll see how much circulation that video gets. But yeah, potentially that could be a thing and sort of I don't know, put his podcast on the map a little bit more, I guess. Even though, I mean, like I've been watching Sean for years, and it's been really interesting to watch his journey. And like you said, he's really more known for the ranking stuff, right? So the ranking stuff is kind of his thing. He's not a scooper, but this was a scoop, man, and this is kind of a big deal. So I wonder how they feel about it, because the scooping game is so weird. It's like Game of Thrones, we always talk about, right? So who knows? Some people are gonna be mad at that scoop. But yeah, let's just get baseline here.
Right.
We're pretty sure that Keaton was picked because of Batman Beyond, like literally because they want to do Batman Beyond. So what are your baseline thoughts about that, man?
I mean, how could I look? I've seen people complain about it, but I don't know why you would. I mean, we've been talking about, if you're a fan of comic book stuff and comic book movies, I've been talking about Batman Beyond movie forever. And the biggest fan casting for years has always been get Michael Keaton to come back and be old Bruce Wayne. So, I mean, on paper, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. And it's funny because, like, we were all sort of on that page already, right? Like, we had, the nerds knew. We were like, okay, Keaton, 68 years old, okay, and the obvious place was Batman Beyond. Now, the question I want to ask you is, what does this do to the Robert Pattinson Batman? Poor Robert Pattinson, you know what I mean? The internet has been so unfair to him, and there's been a lot of people, just being really rude about his comments and his obvious trolls and things like that. And so what do you think this does, in all seriousness, to the Batman movie? Does this hurt it? Is it going to be okay?
I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think if anything, it's going to have obviously more of a microscope on it, because if you're bringing back Keaton as Batman, well, then this new Batman better live up to the hype. So I think maybe the microscope is going to be bigger than it was. But the fact, it's not like they're bringing in another Batman around the same age. Like, they're bringing in Keaton for a very specific purpose, to be an older Batman. So the dynamics are going to be different. The characters are going to be very different. They've always kind of still wanted this to be in a separate universe. All the rumors about the Flashpoint means that we might be getting a multiverse, kind of expanded. So we can have the ability to do multiple different types of characters, not just Batman, but any other characters as well. So I don't think it's going to hurt it as much, but I'm interested to hear why you think that it definitely is going to hurt it.
I'm actually not so sure either. For me personally, it helps. So just to kind of put that out there, like for me personally, it helps. Yeah.
Let me write this down. What's the date?
Record it. Screen cap. Yeah. So I think. Oh, nice little super chat coming in from Trev.
I don't think Reeves should plan on a trilogy.
What? Oh, okay. I don't think Reeves should plan on a trilogy. Ooh, Trev coming in hot. First of all, thank you for the love, and also, Reeves shouldn't plan on a trilogy. God damn, son. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, I think that the attitude that Trev has is I mean, I actually do share that idea. So here's the thing that here's what I think. Matt Reeves' The Batman movie is such an unfortunately timed film in a lot of different ways. Oh my God, here comes the rebuttal from Tara. Here we go. Yeah, so I actually, and here comes the robot voice. Hang on.
I disagree with Trev. Lol.
Awesome. Okay, so I don't know, man. I think that he could be right in the sense that if the DC, man, how does the hype for the Batman get big enough to where DC is willing to, continue this, do this trilogy, if they're obviously changing their plans? And the Batman Beyond and the DCEU really is getting a refocus. Because here's kind of what I'm thinking, okay? Mm-hmm. If they're spending the resources, time, money to do the Flashpoint thing, it means they want to set up a new status quo. And the new status quo, because they would have been invested in it, and they're going to spend all this money to try to build this thing, do we really think that they will push Matt Reeves' The Batman at the same time? That's sort of like the baseline of where I'm going with this. I'm very interested in what you think of that.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think the reason why they're trying to set up a multiverse is to give them a built-in excuse to do things that aren't necessarily in continuity and in universe. They would never not do a Joker movie again, right? Joker movie was extremely successful. It made a ton of money, and for them not to do stuff like that, those one-offs again, would be
Tara
insane.
is always wrong, though. So says Robot Godfather.
You probably didn't hear that, but the robot voice came in and it said, Tara's always wrong, though, says the Robot Godfather. Why didn't it do Jason's? Oh, here we go.
I disagree with Trev and Tara, and I don't know why.
Oh my God, our stream's getting hijacked here, bro. Okay, so go ahead.
Nope.
Sorry. Yeah, your point was.
I'm waiting for Trinity.
Actually, his is right under the $10 threshold, so I don't think the robot voice will go.
You're cheap. You missed out on the penny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the whole idea of doing the multiverse is to set up the built-in.
Let's go. Fuck.
Did it do it?
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
An excuse to do these kind of things. So I don't see that it's going to derail anything. And in fact, I kind of disagree with Trev. And I know we're going back and forth, and it's pretty funny with the super chats, but I kind of disagree that they shouldn't at least plan it. I mean, the biggest complaint that we have about the Star Wars trilogy was there was no plan.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you may not complete it. They may not actually, it may not be successful. It may not make their money back. All those things are true. But if you don't plan out a trilogy, if you have this idea that you want to do it, then what's the point? Like it'll just get muddled down the road. So definitely plan it.
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I totally agree. It's interesting because I think there's actually a lot. This is actually like a layered issue. So I think one of the things is, how does the movie going experience, how does the industry itself, like we need to look at what the industry is going to look like, you know what I mean, in the post shutdown world, right? So it's kind of hard to say, because on the one hand, it's like this: if movies for the next couple of years, if their revenue goes down just across the board, right? What does that mean for Warner Brothers? Because let's say, even if the Batman only makes, let's
Loud
say,
noises.
oh my goodness, I gotta get better at like just not, you know, getting distracted. But that's obviously why they're doing it. You know what I mean? But anyway, what does that mean? If the movie only makes, like, let's say 400 to 500 worldwide million, but that's still like the top percentile of like what movies are making. And they're, you know what I mean? Like, let's say the profit margins have really shrunk down, but at the end of the day, all of the studios and everybody's like, look, this is still the best we can do. Then yeah, like, I think the Batman totally plays. I think the trilogy plays, and I think DC fans would get behind it. And then they can totally still do the DCEU stuff and just keep that rocking. So it's like, I totally agree with you, but I think that we need to sort of look at, what does the industry then look like? You know what I mean? Like, in this world.
Yeah.
I don't know. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in your scenario, I think that even helps movies like Joker and the Batman, because those are things that are more story driven, and the budgets will be down. So if you're going to be anticipating making more or less, then your budgets are going to be down, which means you need more story driven films like this. And so I think that in that scenario, it only helps film like this.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I think you're right in a sense that especially if they actually clear this up, right? If they clear this up, if fandom's great, and they can really explain why this
We're
is
doing
happening.
it because we love you.
Well, I love you
Smiley
right
face.
back. Love you right back. Oh, jeez, this is like it's embarrassing how much this is throwing off my mental. So thanks. Yeah, I think with the multiverse, they can parse this out for fans, and it would be totally fine. So I don't know. I'm not actually of the opinion that this actually hurts the Batman film, like, directly. It's not an exact, like, hey, this is going to downplay the Batman. I did see some people commenting on some of the recent videos, though, and saying, like, DC's screwing up. They should bring Pattinson into the DCEU. I'm pretty sure we both agree that, like, no way. That didn't make sense, right?
Yeah, like DCU meaning like Zack Snyder's DCEU. Because no, I wouldn't like, and I've been a defender of that. I don't think that would work. It's two different styles. One's more realistic and one's more, bombastic, like you like to say. So no, I don't think that would mesh very well.
Yeah, I don't think it meshes very well. And as I said, this actually solves a lot of the problems for me. I can actually now, and I know like people are going to be like, but like I can now actually fully embrace, especially if we're getting Batman Beyond. Like, if we're actually getting Batman Beyond, and we're going to take the combo there, but if we're actually getting Batman Beyond, dude, I can totally get down with like this kind of postmodern Punisher Batman take. You know what I mean? Like, I can embrace it for what it is. Because, like, I've got my sort of mythic status Batman, itch being scratched with Keaton and with what they do with Terry or whatever, So for me, it actually solves a lot of the problems because there's not as much pressure on the film to just to hold the mantle of Batman. You know what I mean? Like, it can sort of be its own thing. So yeah, for me, it sort of solves that problem. But I don't know how Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson feel about it. Do you think they could be feeling any sort of way about it?
Honestly, I mean, it's possible, but I would doubt it. I think they've always gone into this knowing that it's sort of on the outskirts anyway. And if it's true that like they're really only bringing in Keaton to sort of have like a cameo, and I put that in quotes because I don't know what that means. As far as the Flash, but in essence, to go to Batman Beyond, it's such a totally different thing, and it's so different styles, it's really a different character. So I obviously it's Batman, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I doubt it. I feel like the type of people they are. They're just like they're focused. They're in their lane. They're just doing their own thing. Then they're not trying to get too concerned about what's happening.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm with you. So let's talk Keaton. Let's talk Batman Beyond, dude. I was really looking forward to talking to you about this because just geeking out, right? This is ridiculous. Like, this is frankly ridiculous. It's such a bold move. Dude. Yeah. Like, bring Keaton back, have him be sort of a Nick Fury figure, and the possibility of him being involved in the DCEU in like a semi-permanent basis, but not having to suit up in the cowl, and potentially having more of the Bat family in the DCEU and involved in the Justice League. I mean, dude, mind-blowing stuff to me. What do you think about the decision to do that? I heard you talk a little bit about this on your live stream. There's a slight pushback from people saying maybe the normies won't embrace or whatever. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man, I don't understand. Like, I've heard the argument that like maybe people like won't get into Batman Beyond because it would, in essence, probably, we don't know for sure, but be Terry McGinnis and not Bruce Wayne, and people don't care about Terry. They only care about Bruce Wayne. And I just don't understand that, man. It's such a great story. You still get your Batman flavor, you still get your Bruce Wayne, and just like in everyone's been clamoring for more Michael Keaton to come back, and this is your in. This is how you're going to get people, especially the normies who know Michael Keaton and that may not know Batman Beyond, to get on board from day one anyway. So,
that's a great point.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's a great point. Oh, here we go. Drummond Company.
Is any of this a bad thing though? I feel like if they capitalize on fandom and really explain how Flashpoint will set up a multiverse for 1. Snyderverse 2, Phoenix verse 3, Pattinson verse 4, Sue.
Yeah, I'm with you. Is any of this a bad thing though? I feel like if they capitalize on fandom, really explain how Flashpoint is. Yeah, I don't really think there is any bad aspect to this. I really don't. I think that this is exactly the right move, and I think choosing the Burton verse, going with Keaton's Batman, I think it's a really good point what you said, Adam. That, and also. Drummond Company, thanks for the love. And everybody, just in general, thank you for the love. Really appreciate it. I think that sort of riding the goodwill of that Burton thing is such a good idea, and it will set Terry up to be absolutely loved by the normies. I also was thinking about this where, Marvel and DC have had this really interesting history throughout the comic publication and also in live-action films of stealing each other's ideas and borrowing from each other's, right?
Yeah.
With the popularity of Iron Man, I'm really interested if they're going to essentially, with the Batman Beyond, sort of do an Iron Man take on Batman and have Batman have a lot of tech and be sort of like really, really technologically advanced to the point of being a little bit of Iron Man. What do you think about that? And do you think that would play with audiences? DC people going to be okay with it? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched Batman Beyond, but as far as I remember, like it was all tech. Like, sure, it wasn't Iron Spider, like, for sure, but like it was definitely tech forward. Absolutely, and I would love that. I think that'd be cool. I mean, it takes place in the future anyway, so it's like. Incorporate all that stuff. I think that'd be actually, I think it'd be a missed opportunity if you didn't do that. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to like copy, the whole Iron Spider concept, but like, I think you gotta make it more technologically advanced suit and tech forward car, the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
Hopefully it's the Batmobile that you approve.
Yeah. No, dude, it's got to be, right? It's got to be. Good points. And also Trinity, of course, very excited about having a Batman, an Iron Man Batman in the DCEU. Very, very cool. Very cool. I mean, my thoughts, dude, I'm just like so excited. Like, honestly, it's almost hard for me to like formulate cohesive thoughts about it because like my expectations have been absolutely blown away. The rumors of, the Green Lantern thing, Michael Keaton coming back in general, Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis and sort of doing that in a really advanced way. I think it's the way to go. We've done so many different things with Batman, and I think the tendency has been to sort of deconstruct and sort of go more realistic and gritty, right? And, you know, we've talked about this. You know, we had this really nice debate that everybody felt was really good and entertaining about this. What's there left to necessarily do with the Batman character than to take him in more of that technologically advanced like direction? I think it's brilliant, dude. And yeah.
I was gonna say it's that direction, or start opening up the books and getting more of the villains, right?
Yeah.
Because we certainly haven't seen we recycle a lot of the villains, which is fine. There's a lot of Batman villains that may not play well on the big screen, and so others lend themselves to being better. But that's the other thing to do too, is just opening up the books, getting in all these rando villains, and just doing that. So either one.
Well, the thing that's so interesting is it kind of begs the question of when we come back after Flashpoint, because this is another thing that maybe we can get into. It's like this Flashpoint movie is going to be, it has to be so different than the Flashpoint comic. Like, and this cameo thing, you know, like maybe we should get into that too. But what I'm saying, when we come back, if the Burtonverse and the DCEU have kind of merged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then a lot of Batman's rogues gallery and his villains will probably not really be around in the DCEU, right? So, like, at this point, Joker must be, like, super old, possibly dead in the DCEU.
Right.
A lot of the very early villains, like, I can't see how Two-Face would still be around if it's anything similar to what they would have done, you know, from the comics. So a lot of those villains might be gone or have different iterations in the DCEU moving forward. And the idea of Terry or any of the Justice League members fighting versions of that, I think would be really, really interesting. What do you have any ideas about that? Because I think that I think a lot of those villains will like in a way, it's like DC will take them off the table by doing this thing and having it be this merged thing with Burtonverse. A lot of those villains we're not likely to see in the DCEU moving forward. I'm personally totally okay with that, especially if they're simultaneously doing some of those villains in Matt Reeves stuff and then potentially in the CW universe as well. What do you think?
For like Two-Face, I think that I would probably agree with you. Now, Joker did come back for Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that's that movie and stuff. Yeah.
So I think Joker you still probably could do.
Yeah.
Two-Face probably not. I could throw this out there. What if we got a return of Jim Carrey coming back, reprising the Riddler?
Dude, and that would old enough.
Well,
yeah.
That's not Burton though. Yeah. So scratch that.
Well, but just to go there a little bit.
Back.
Well, here's the thing. So one of the most interesting parts of the Batman Beyond show was how they did the Rogues Gallery in the future, right? So there's like the Bane villains that steal the Bane tech, and then it's all of a sudden it's like the Venom and a new version of Bane and stuff like that. So there's really interesting ways that they could do that with any of the villains, you know, which I think would be really cool. But I'm almost more interested to see Terry fighting alongside Henry Cavill Superman. Dude, like what I want to see some scenes with like Bruce in the tower, or do the actual space station. Like I'm just go sweaty with me, Warner Brothers. I in space, the Justice League station, you know, and Cavill's there having a conversation with Keaton, and the two of them chewing up the scene, talking about their long history together, maybe even alluding to the Martha scene or something, but like, you know, it's a different version because it's been retconned. And then Terry and Henry Cavill's dynamic as they're in mission with Bruce in their ear or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, dude, like I kind of dig it, man. I kind of like the possible dynamics they're setting up.
That would be cool. I'm all for that. Have you thought? Well, first of all, there's a couple things I want to ask you.
Yeah.
A quick since we're talking like fun stuff, we'll talk about this first. Have you thought about anyone for Terry McGinnis? Have you done any personal fan castings on who you thought might work?
No, I mean, I'm so bad with this stuff. You know what I mean? nobody's.
I'll just throw this out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm rooting for Dylan O'Brien.
Okay,
You know who Dylan O'Brien
what's he
is?
done?
So he's most famously for the Maze Runner stuff, but he was in that movie. Oh God, what's the name of it? With Michael Keaton. Oh, I should have probably had this up. Hold on, I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Oh shoot, I apologize.
No, it's all
American Assassin. Do you remember that?
Yes,
American
I do. Yeah.
Assassin with Michael Keaton. So they already have a good film working relationship with each other. That movie was actually pretty decent. It wasn't the greatest, but a lot of great action in it. And I think the two of them could work really well together. So that's my fan casting, Dylan O'Brien.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm kind of bad with that sort of stuff. I've realized that like my actor's knowledge and a lot of my like knowledge of stuff is like dated by 10, 15 years. I haven't like updated it. Like I'm not really familiar with like the new crop of young actors or actresses. That's whoever they cast, it's a pretty big deal. You know, it's a pretty big deal. So yeah, obviously hopefully they get someone really good and someone that can be physical. What do you think about, let's talk about the cameo thing. That was weird, dude. Like Daniel Richtman, and there's actually a total side thing going on with Daniel Richtman, and I'm trying to like do my research and figure out what's going on with this dude. But he kind of came out with that one thing and saying that he's going to co-star. Keaton will co-star in The Flash. Yeah. And then the word out of Schiller from Griffin and from Sean was that they were told Cameo. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I don't know. I have so many thoughts about that. First of all, I don't think we're really ever going to know what it is until we see the film, or maybe DC Fandom, they kind of expand on that a little. I mean, there's a big difference between a supporting role, co-star, and cameo. Yeah. I mean, that's such a wide variety. And I even said this morning, cameo can mean a lot of stuff. It can mean like literally just walking on the screen and saying a couple lines and bouncing. It could mean one scene. It could be two scenes. It could be a bunch, just not as a supporting role. And my biggest question is, if it is a cameo, what does that mean for the Flashpoint story? Right? We thought Thomas Wayne was going to be it with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Then that kind of got blown up when the Michael Keaton news came. And now, look, I don't know if it's a cameo or not, but if it is a cameo, like, we really are not necessarily getting a more traditional Flashpoint. And I kind of thought that we weren't anyway. I was okay if you replaced Bruce Wayne with Thomas Wayne. I thought, okay, you could do something interesting with that. But to not have either of them as a main character in the story, I'm not sure what kind of Flashpoint story they're going to be telling us.
Yeah, no, I don't know either, man. It's kind of tricky.
Either one of those needs to be, I think, a central character.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, and this kind of goes to the thing where I was like, it's got to be so different than the Flashpoint movie. And Dave Marvel, thanks so much for the super chat. Says Dave Marvel and Batman Beyond. I think this is what you were searching for, Josh. Good morning. I was up late working on a certain After Dark. Nice, good to hear that. You're glad to hear that. The thing is, yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I was gonna say, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like one of those two characters should have been a central point.
Yeah, well, it's going to be really weird to see what because it can't just be the Burton universe, right? It is a alternate universe protected by the Burton Batman. So it's sort of in the Burton timeline, but it's got to be really dark. Like, in order for Flashpoint to work, that universe has to be horrible, right? So Flash has to go back because he has to be forced to go. Like, basically, if Flashpoint is him, and he goes back and saves his mom, and then all of a sudden the universe is dope, then it's not Flashpoint. Like, that's not what happens, right? So he has to go to a universe where he's like, oh, this is really bad, meaning I have to go back and allow my mother to die in order for this to be undone, whatever it is. So if we sort of work from that perspective, there's probably much more horrible things going on than just it being Batman with Keaton, right? That he's the protector of that world. But what does that mean? I think it'll end up being a pretty dark Batman, you know, because that was the whole thing with Thomas Wayne. He's killing dudes, you know, 2 pistols, dual wielding, comes in blasting. So the Keaton verse, or whatever this is, it has to be really dark. I think it's going to be more than just Keaton Batman in there. But I think the reason the Keaton Batman news and the Thomas Wayne news, I think the reason a lot of this is coming out is because really and truly, it's all about like what they want to do after the film and what they want to do with Batman Beyond and what they want to do with Keaton in that role for the DCEU. The Flashpoint movie is in a weird spot because it has to functionally set that up, but it also has to be an incredible Flash movie. We haven't had a solo Flash movie. And you know, you were talking about this, and I think you mentioned kind of wanting to know my thoughts about this. There are people that are saying it's too soon to do Flashpoint, and it's too soon to do that. I see where those people are coming from. And I think the pressure on the film has to be a Flash movie. It has to be intimate to Barry's struggling with what he can do versus what he should do, right? So as a hero, and I think this is sort of the real struggle for Barry in this thing is that, you know, as a hero, you're not going to be able to save everyone, and you can't be perfect, right? So it's like, who do you save? What capacity do you use your powers and stuff like that? So that has to be central to the movie and to the character of Barry, because Barry has to come out of the other side of this changed. You know what I mean? Very reluctant to do another Flashpoint. You know, very reluctant to be messing with time. So it has to serve that, but it also has to set up this Keaton thing moving forward in this horrible world. So I don't know. Maybe the cameo makes sense. Maybe it's just a couple scenes with Keaton, and Keaton's doing some really dark stuff. Maybe it also has a Terry McGinnis. Maybe Terry and the army of the Bat family are like totalitarian. You know what I mean? Like, that's possible. Maybe we get a little dark Henry Cavill as well. You know, that's possible. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts about is it too soon for the Flash movie? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I'm with you. I said that this morning. I don't get it. Like I feel like through osmosis and through decades of knowing who this character is, I think people know how the Flash has come about, and the CW Flash really, you know, did a good job of doing that. And I don't want a regular Flash like going up against a speedster kind of movie. You know, I know Reverse Flash is part of the Flashpoint story, but he doesn't like go up against him per se. It's more of a character study than anything else. And yeah, I don't need it. And if you really need to introduce people to his backstory, you can do it in like a 15-minute segment of the movie, I think, and then just get into a Flash story. I don't think we need to retell everything.
Yeah, it's a sort of difficult thing to do, and nobody knows for sure. I mean, can they even pull it off? It might be a little bit clumsy and all that things, but you know what I think is they've at least solved the problem of like getting people interested and sort of grabbing some more people back on board. Like, I've seen a lot of comments in the videos lately about people saying like, wow, this is actually legitimately bringing my interest back. I think sort of pulling from the past DC movies is such a smart idea because you got to build in fan base of those films. So it's a difficult task for them to do, but they've at least solved one problem, which is getting people to kind of give them another chance and sort of hear them out. The execution is next up, right?
Yeah, and that execution I'm worried about with Batman Beyond too, if this rumor is true.
Yeah.
With Tim Burton.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Tim Burton thing. What are your thoughts on that? Because, you know, according to the thing yesterday, this is a big thing for Keaton. Keaton is like, yeah, no, I want to do this, but bring Burton back, which I love that sort of camaraderie. But what do you think from a studio perspective? Would this be a good move? Is this too risky?
I don't think it's risky. I don't think it's risky. Look, honestly, his track record as of late hasn't been great. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but I think a lot of it has to just do with script issues. It's not the visual style of Burton that I think is an issue. I don't think it's his ability to direct and get good performances out of his actors, which is, you know, a majority of the role of a director. I think a lot of the project he's been picking, not great scripts. So I think if they really hone down on the script and get something really good, I think he could probably pull it off. You know, I look at a movie like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, right? Everyone touted that as sort of like the Tim Burton X-Men kind of film. And look, it wasn't the greatest movie for sure, but like the visual style and the look and the actors, they were all really good in it. So I feel like he's got it in him to do it. I'm very cautious, very trepidatious about it. But I feel like somewhere deep inside, he might be able to pull it off if they give him a really good script.
Yeah. I would be really interested in how his sort of gothic style would be modernized and meshed with the rest of the DCEU. Because if they're doing this, then the Batman Beyond movie is technically in canon with the rest of the DCEU. And so it has to feel similar to the rest of those movies and to the world that they've created. So how does Burton's style and aesthetic translate into that? And, you know, Burton is one of these sort of fathers of, you know, maybe you could call it like the Silver Age comic book movies, right? It was a change from the old campy stuff into sort of a modernization. But now we've sort of had another leap in the superhero genre. And so it'd be really interesting to see how Burton like changes. You know, how does he adapt? How do they do this together? And I think it would obviously bring in a lot of the older fans, which might be really important as far as converting them into Terry and his storyline and watching that all move forward. I think it's a little bit risky because anytime you're bringing in a very strong creative force, particularly when it's a little bit of it's curated content, right? It's a little bit more Feige, where they're going to have some hard nose and some things that they need to do. That's always, I think, from a studio perspective, a little bit risky, but I think they could make it work. And I'd love to see Tim come back and direct in this world. I think it would be a really good thing for DC ultimately.
Yeah, and his style kind of does blend a little bit with Zach's. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but if I would say they're more similar than they are dissimilar.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. That would be really cool to see what they do, man. And what are they because what? Let me ask you this. Are they flying by the seat of their pants, or is this something that was being planned before? You know, maybe via Jeff Johns, maybe via Jim Lee, maybe via Diane Nelson or whatever. Are they flying by the seat of their pants and just doing cool stuff? Or is there a plan here? Where are your thoughts on that?
No, I think I would see it. Here's how I would compare it. So I feel like anyone who works there, obviously very familiar with Batman Beyond, very much has a concept of one day wanting to do this, right? And maybe not necessarily like it like they probably have a whiteboard, like a fictional whiteboard with dinosaurs and everything on it, right? So, and I'm sure the idea of doing a Batman Beyond movie has always been in the back of their mind, and they wanted to do it. And then circumstances happen where like one domino falls and another, and then all of a sudden, wait, we can actually get Keaton. This could work, and then start folding it in. So I wouldn't go far as to say seat of their pants, but I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, it's been planned out for the last 5 years either. I think there's somewhere gray in between. I would sort of see it in the way that Kevin Feige always wanted to throw in the X-Men to his universe, but didn't necessarily have it planned. But once dominoes started falling, then he sort of shifted and started reworking everything to get that in there. So I think it's sort of similar in that sense.
Yeah. No, I would tend to agree. I think here's my thing. I think that if it's not as clean as like the MCU, I actually really don't even mind. Like, it's ambitious enough to like overcome maybe those expectations that we have in Marvel. Like, one of the things that's really neat about Marvel is just how clean the continuity is, right? It's very clean. It's very understandable. And DC doesn't necessarily have to do that. If they're just saying, hey, it's the multiverse, things are being mismatched, this is a new universe that has some of the things from here, some of the things from here, and think that part of the enjoyment for fans will be discovering all the differences and figuring out what this new universe looks like. That's enough. It can be a little messier if it's really riding on like the thing is, what do we want? We want hype, we want craziness, we want a lot of anticipation, we want a lot of theory crafting, and then we ultimately want a satisfying product that gives us a lot of oh shit moments, that gives us some heart-wrenching moments. We can cheer these characters on together and then get out of the theater and talk about it online together, right? So that's the magic formula, and they're doing that. They're doing that. If Hal Jordan, if literally Ryan Reynolds comes back and is Hal Jordan in this universe, if The Rock is Black Adam, just moving forward in this universe, if Keaton's the Batman, we get Terry McGinnis, we have that. They bring Henry Cavill back. Momoa's all good. Gal Gadot's all good, and then we see that crew. Like, dude, I'm in. Like, I don't care. I don't care if it's not super clean. I am all in on that, and I think they should be fighting Darkseid. I think they should be fighting Vandal Savage, maybe Legion of Doom. I think they should be fighting some really crazy big threats and just take all the toys, throw them on the carpet, and let the kids play. That's what I say, Adam.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. That scenario, I am all for. I'm all for it. It doesn't mean I'm not excited for the Batman either, but as I can keep them separate.
I already forgot about the Batman. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, Trev says it in Super Chat here. Have you ever deaned after dark or denned after dark? I don't know what you're saying there, but thank you for the support. Trev, then Dave shoots back and says, guess you have to see if we den tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on here. All right, look, let's get into a little bit of Q&A. Is Trinity streaming today, or is he taking the day off? I think he might be taking the day off.
So I think maybe.
Yeah, I think he takes Thursdays off. So let's just get into Q&A here and see what the people's got to ask of you and or I. And who will Johnny Depp play? That's a really interesting question. Yeah. Johnny Depp, Joker, better in the Matt Reeves stuff or DCEU? What do you think?
Well, Johnny Depp, no matter what, is better in the DCEU.
Why is that?
He's too over the top.
He's
too over the top to be in the Batman.
Okay.
But I would actually, we said Two-Face wouldn't work. I could see Johnny Depp doing Two-Face over the Riddler.
Yeah. And he's also a big Burton guy. So those two working together, I think, could be really crazy.
Hey, what about DeVito, man? Look, I know the Penguin died, but it's a comic book movie.
It's Flashpoint. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could absolutely be alive. Yeah, dude, the possibilities are pretty crazy. It's really cool just to be excited about DC again and to be in this what's going to happen sort of phase. It's so cool, like the Snyder Cut's potentially setting stuff up. They're just, I'm really happy. Let's see here. Is Den After Dark a different channel? No. So After Dark is a show being developed for this channel, for the live streaming channel. And I believe we're going to do a dry run tonight via Patreon. And I think until the show gets like 100% like beautiful and ready, we might do it as a member-only show. So if you're one of our members here on the channel, which we haven't even set up yet, but once that goes live, you can get access to it that way. And it's Thursday nights starting at 10 Eastern Standard Time. And it's sort of it is what it is. It sounds, After Dark. It's a little bit of the more mature, more risque, more shit-talking, a little bit, I want to say maybe rated M for mature type of show. So that's that show, and it'll be going on tonight at 10 p.m. Because, I got to reach out to the After Dark people, but I think they're ready to go tonight. Pretty sure. Let's see here. Tony says, Josh, does it scare you a little bit that they're thinking of releasing another Batman Beyond movie before Matt Reeves a Batman? Or does this mean they're canceling the movie altogether? So I don't think it will release before the Batman. The Batman will still come out, maybe sometime late next year, but definitely before 2023. Wouldn't you agree, Adam?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it should come out before.
They've already started shooting. They did what, like a quarter of it already? I know they still have the majority to do, but no, this will be done. This will be out at the very look. If the world collapses, it'll still come out in 2022. Yeah, I think it'll come out next year, hopefully, fingers crossed. But Yeah, no, we don't even know if Burton, if the Batman Beyond is real. They haven't even really announced it.
Yeah,
So,
we really don't know if that's real, and if the Keaton thing falls through, they could still potentially do it. What do you think? What if they did like Val Kilmer,
dude. Well, okay. I was gonna say, if the only other, who would you rather have if Keaton falls through?
Yeah,
Kilmer or Clooney? Today, because look,
yeah,
look,
you're right.
not
It would be
Kilmer
Clooney.
from
It'd be
Batman.
Clooney.
It's Kilmer today or Clooney today.
It'd be Clooney.
I think I'd go Clooney.
I mean, Kilmer's not really like even really acting anymore. He's just chilling at his ranch doing freaking ayahuasca and stuff, right? So like, I don't think he's not really like on his game. Dude, Godfather says Adam West. That would be awesome. I actually think
Adam West passed away. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, but just replace it digitally. Just put them in there. It would be crazy. I honestly would love them to do Batfleck. And I know it's probably unlikely, and Ben probably doesn't want to do it and come back. But like actually aging him up and doing it that way would be really cool, and technically probably better for some people, just because they'd be like, oh, so the Batman that was in Snyder Cut is now old and passing on the man. You know what I mean? So that might actually work. They could obviously do Bale even potentially. So they've got options. You know, they've had many Batman before, but hopefully Keaton does it. I mean, I think Keaton wants it. I think Keaton loved playing Batman and would love to come back. And yeah, I think that's the way they should go. And I think that if his concessions are Burton, then get Burton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, he just wants to come back so that he can finally wear a Batman suit that when he turns his head, he doesn't have to like turn his entire body. Like he just really wants to wear a real Batman suit.
Yeah, and he should. I mean, just like in the Beyond, cartoon, he should be in the Batman Beyond suit. You know what I mean? And then it's a thing where he's just too old. Like even the Batman Beyond suit is in a way created to help him as he's aging still have his edge, his physical edge, his ability to see things and all that. So at the beginning of that show, and we put some of this in the video yesterday, he's in the Batman Beyond suit, even though he's like pretty old, and then he just kind of shuts it down. He's eventually just like, yeah, I'm frankly too old for this. So I think we need some Keaton in the Batman Beyond suit in that movie, you know, so that would be awesome. Trev here coming in hot with the super chat. Thank you for the love, brother. Says Depp as Mad Hatter. Burton already directed him in Alice in Wonderland. Already AHS the outfit. Disney Warner Brothers crossover. What do you think about that?
No. I don't want anything to do with Alice in Wonderland. I don't want that touching this at all. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in and agree. Although he could play Mad Hatter, I think that he could totally.
Mad Hatter, just not that Mad Hatter for sure.
Yeah. Mav says, I want Clooney's Bruce and Val Kilmer's Batman and no explanation. What do you think about them doing because I think that one of the coolest things they could set up to would be sort of a crisis event via all their stuff, right? But that's years down the line, right? That's years down the line. Oh, you don't like Crisis?
No. I mean, are you saying like duplicate what the CW did or just the actual storyline?
So duplicate what the CW did as far as the crossover. Now, but what I would do is bring in some of the CW characters literally for this movie. You know what I mean? Maybe bring in potentially something from Matt Reeves Batman, although I kind of think that works just totally on its own over there. But introducing sort of a way to bring all of these properties together to have like a single battle and or fight would be really cool. No?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm so tapped out of the CW stuff that like I personally I don't care if it's involved or not. I don't know. It's so different, and I was watching a video. I forget who it was. I don't think it was Berlanti. It was somebody that was like the whole purpose of the CW show is to sort of get that like 50s 60s feel. And I guess it does come across that way as that like that corny, cheesy stuff. And it's fine. It's fine for TV. It's fine for television. It got old really quick for me. I tapped out of Flash and Arrow after both season 3 for each of them. And I don't know. I like Grant Gustin as a guy, as an actor, but I think I just I don't know. Everyone's like replaced him for the Flash, and I'm just like, I don't want that. I like where he's at. I think he's a very good television actor. I don't know that it translates to like this. I think he would be. I think people would act circles around him with these real heavy hitter actors. So I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. That is potentially really profitable, though. I think that a lot of people do really love that stuff.
I do.
It would be, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that would all mesh together. I just think they have the ability to do some really cool stuff. It's sort of like, you know, what we've been talking about with Marvel, right? Like heading towards Secret Wars and the possibility of bringing in literally like Wesley Snipes, Blade and stuff like that, right? It's like next level nerdy awesomeness. And I think that DC could beat Marvel to the punch there. And that would be pretty wild, dude. Like, that would be pretty wild and get people talking and get the hype going on. And then ultimately, if it's an enjoyable product, like, they're doing great, you know? Alex says, what if Johnny Depp plays Dr. Hugo Strange? That would fit super well with Burton's feel. Yeah, and he could play an older Hugo Strange that, like, comes back and has, like, sort of younger cronies and stuff like that. That could be really cool.
That could be cool.
Danny Orange says, I really want Bale to come back as Batman. Anyone that disagrees with this or says something like, stop that, that's the kind of talk that leads to Warner Bros. Considering Keaton is wrong. Danny, I appreciate that sentiment. Thank you for putting that in there. Knight1223 says, I would pee in my pants if they got Bale to come back, but I think it's too soon. Plus, he's doing Marvel movies now. Yeah. Well, hopefully they can figure that out.
I don't think Bale's coming back.
Nah, probably not. Probably not. He's rocking hard over at Marvel, and a lot of us are really curious to see, does he have a multi-picture deal over at Marvel, or is this just a one and done? I really hope it's a multi-picture deal, dude.
I mean, of course it's a multi-picture deal, whether they, actually do it or not.
Right.
I think that's a different story. But yeah, there's no way he signs on for one film. That would go against all the grain that Marvel does.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Somebody, Stephen J asked about the Tobey Maguire thing. You're kind of a person that doesn't want Tobey back, right? What's up with that?
No, I don't know. And I said this morning. I'm an extreme hypocrite because I like the idea of Keaton coming back. So why wouldn't Tobey come back? And I'm happy about it. I don't know. I guess maybe it's the way that they were kind of. They want to bring all the Spider-Men back. And look, I get it's a Spider-Verse. I don't know. It's hard for me to really explain why, but it's a visceral feeling that I feel like bringing Tobey back would just be pandering a little. Like it would literally would be a cameo just to say that you have Tobey Maguire back. So to me, I don't know. I'm not too into it. Somebody did say this morning though, like, what if he came back and he was like an evil Spider-Man, right, and he was a villain? And that I could get behind. If they did something more than just like showing him back, just to be like, hey, I was a Spider-Man, blah blah blah. Like, okay, that's fine. I can deal with that, but not the way that they keep explaining or the rumors about just like kind of showing up because it's a Spider-Verse. I don't know. I don't know to me.
Yeah. Mav says, whatever DC does here will up Battle World later. I agree with that. I think whatever they do here, Feige's going to kind of step back, kind of watch how the audiences respond to it. What are the hang-ups? What are the things they embraced? And then perhaps craft just a little bit of a tighter version of that for Battle World, which I do feel is on the horizon. But it's the far horizon. I think it's probably like a 6 to 10 year plan. But yeah, I absolutely want that. Danny Orange says in chat, I'm a total fanboy of bringing all of these Batman back. I absolutely want old, and it is not pandering. So, dude, Danny, that's crazy, man. Thanks for, look, we're with you.
Yep.
We're with you. We totally understand and appreciate, where your sentiment is coming from. Anthony says, Josh and Adam, I want your opinions. Instead of the 3 guys that you're talking about for Batman Beyond movie, if that happens, how about Bradley Cooper or Jensen Ackles for the movie if that happens? What do you think about that?
Look, I'm a big Bradley Cooper guy. I like him a lot. So would I be okay with Bradley Cooper? Sure. I guess so. I think I'd be okay with that. Jensen Ackles, maybe. I don't think that they would do that because I don't know. He's definitely more of a TV actor for sure. He's not a big name. Look, they're going for a big name here. Bradley Cooper would be more likely than Jensen Ackles because Bradley's obviously a huge name. If you're gonna cast a Batman, older Batman, you need. I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about for Batman, not for Terry McGinnis.
I think he's actually talking about for Terry.
Oh, well, if it's Terry, then no. Both of them are super old. Well, Bradley Cooper is definitely way too old.
Well, they're super old. They're also super white. Like one of the things that's, I mean, it would be so weird for the studio to be like, here's this character, because I don't exactly know what the nationality of Terry is, but he is like, what do you think he's like? He's not white, right? Or do you think Terry is white?
I don't know. Let me see.
I mean, McGinnis is like an Irish name, but he doesn't.
I think he's just Irish, right? I don't think he's. I think he's Caucasian. Or is I mean, I've never. This is the first I've ever thought it was asked. Like, is he not white? I always thought he was.
That's interesting. Let's find out right now. Let's find out definitively. Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, he's the Bruce Wayne clone. Yeah.
He's a clone?
He's the Caucasian persuasion.
Damn. Okay. Well, maybe those people would work. Why did I always think that he wasn't white?
That's a personal soul searching that only you can do, Josh.
Damn. Damn. All right. Well, yeah. Those I do agree that those actors are too old, though.
Oh yeah, for Terry, 100%. I mean, I don't know how. I know. I think they're both in their 40s, so it's a little too old.
Yeah, it's probably a little too old, but either way, it would be super cool. Terry is an awesome character, and I'm super pumped for that. Yeah, I guess I'm just like totally off on that. Damn. Well, they should make him a different ethnicity, anyways. There's what's up? Yeah, I know, right? There's some discussion that they were gonna do Batgirl instead of Terry. You think people would freak out?
Yes, they would. Look, at least they wouldn't make it, at least they wouldn't take the Terry character and make it a female character. It would just be a different character replacing it. So at least it's a little different. But I think people, when they want, people who want Batman Beyond, they just want to see Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a huge mistake not to have Terry.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that would be sort of a built-in thing. But they could do Batgirl or Batwoman, especially if Bruce is like much older. One of the things I really love about the Bat family dynamic is that they've all had like a lot of experience with Bruce. And in that dynamic, I know that like Dick, for instance, has probably had the most close time out of anybody in the Batman family. And I like sometimes when they're talking about Bruce and they're having conversations about him and his approach or the things that he's doing wrong. And sometimes like I'll see, Dick sort of mentoring the other characters and sort of being like, don't take this too personally. This is his way, blah, blah, blah. So it'd be kind of cool. I'd be into that. Bring in a Batgirl, bring them all in, man. I want to see Damian Wayne. I actually would really like to see Damian Wayne, and I'm wondering if they have any plans for that, because Damian would be older than Terry, right? So he could potentially be, a really interesting character to sort of have in the fold with those guys as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Damian down the road. I don't know that I want it sooner. I think that there's other characters I want first. Like I really want to see Nightwing before I see Damian. And especially because, Damian and Nightwing always had that dichotomy going on as well.
Yeah,
so
that's true,
I think it'd be nice to have both of them. So but I think you got to do Nightwing first before you bring in Damian.
I'm with you. Let's so Trinity's live. He's talking about James Gunn. Is he behind the DCEU expansion? Damn, what an intriguing title. I can't wait to see what he means by that. Let's throw the link to Trinity's stream into the chat. Adam, anything you want to plug? Anything you want to let the people know about before we get out of here?
Yeah, just go to the channel, Fanjecture. We do all sorts of fun stuff. Come hang out with us.
Yeah. Fanjecture does fun stuff. Faux show. Okay, so head on over to Trinity Stream, everybody. Thank you so much for the love today. You guys are awesome. Kind of threw me off a good bit in the convo, but look, it's all love. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Later today, too, and I'm not sure what time later today, you're going to see a stream pop up where I'm going to be playing Magic the Gathering. I know, it's really nerdy and not maybe what you're into, but if you're not doing anything later, you want to hang out with me as I enjoy the new Magic the Gathering set, whoo, baby, look out for that stream later today. Adam, what do you think? You gonna come on by and watch me play Magic, or is that the lamest thing?
I think I might, depending on what time it is. I think I actually might.
Yeah, I'm kind of aiming for like 4 or 5. I got to knock out a Marvel video on the channel and then get set up for it. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, man. This new set is super powerful, super OP. It's going to be really fun to mess around in there. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.